Introducing the latest contender in the race for the budget keyboard of 2024, the GamaKay TK75SE. With its budget-friendly price tag and impressive performance, you might want to stick around to see if this could be your next keyboard. Before we go any further, I do want to let you know that this video was sponsored by GamaKay. They provided the TK75SE free of charge and also paid a fee for this review. However, rest assured, all opinions you hear today are completely my own and unbiased. GamaKay also sent me out another set of their switches to try out on this board. I'll be sharing my thoughts on those throughout the review. Let's cover the unboxing experience before we go any further. The package in itself is sparsely decorated with GamaKay's branding and some feature showcases. The keyboard is wrapped in a plastic sleeve with the trusty user manual underneath. As for accessories, you get a braided USB-A to USB-C cable, a dual keycap and switch puller, a few spare switches, and some keycaps for macOS. Overall, the unboxing experience felt remarkably similar to that of the GamaKay67 in terms of both accessories and packaging. Okay, I'm going to quickly run over some of the main specs and features before I get into my own thoughts and opinions. The TK75SE comes in at $69.99 on GamaKay.com. It features a 75% layout with 81 keys and a multifunction knob. It comes equipped with tri-mode connectivity, meaning you can connect via Bluetooth, 2.4 GHz wireless, or wired USB-C. The TK75SE features a 4000 mAh battery. With the main specs and features out of the way, let's start by discussing the design language. Right from the outset, it's evident that the keyboard embraces a retro theme, featuring kind of an ivory colour and contrasting pastel coloured keycaps. While retro themes might not appeal to everyone, this keyboard tastefully incorporates elements of that aesthetic. In my opinion, if you give it a chance, its charm will shine through. If the theme alone won't do it for you, stick around to see the impressive features that might just sway you. The board features an exploded 75% layout, so you're getting your function row as well as arrow keys and navigation keys just split off from the main bunch. A personal preference of mine with this size layout. The keyboard features a plastic case construction, which in my opinion isn't actually an issue. The plastic build quality is sturdy, ensuring the keyboard feels robust and substantial. I'll delve deeper into the sound characteristics later in the video. The keyboard is gasket mounted, however upon testing doesn't seem to boast much bounce. Typically this would lead to a stiffer typing experience, but surprisingly this keyboard still offers an impressive typing feel. I'll elaborate on this shortly. Flipping the board over, I want to quickly go over some of the physical features on the case. Starting with the basics, each corner features a rubber pad for enhanced grip, complemented by height adjustable feet that provide 2 layers of adjustment. You'll find the 2.4 GHz wireless receiver in a small slot flush with the case. There's also a toggle switch for using the keyboard in its wireless mode, although I'm curious why GamaKay didn't label this. You may be wondering about the operating system toggle. Well, there isn't one, because cleverly this keyboard actually automatically detects what operating system you're on. I wouldn't go as far as to say it's a pain point to have to manually switch this, but in this keyboard it is definitely a quality of life feature. Finally, a generic info and trademarking sticker in the center. Quickly covering the case edge, the USB-C port is positioned all the way over to the left back edge. Now, I know as a brand you're going to want to get your logo in somewhere, but I'm really not a huge fan of its positioning here on the front. However, it is a standard location for branding, so perhaps the logo design itself is what gives it a gaming inspired feel in an otherwise really clean case. Transitioning back to the surface of the keyboard, there's a couple of things to point out. Let's begin with the rotary knob. It's made from metal with a powder coated finish, adding a touch of premium quality to an otherwise plastic keyboard. There's also a set of indicator LEDs positioned between the main layout and the navigation keys. These LEDs are quite dim, the brightness only increases really the closer you get to them. Moving over to the keycaps, they're die sub PBT in the cherry profile. I'm a big fan of the central legend positioning with smaller font on the outer keys. Due to their PBT nature, the keycaps have a subtle speckled texture finish. Now, they're not double shot like those of many of their budget competitors, so the legends might not be as durable over the long run. However, this isn't something that particularly concerns me. The keycaps have a good thickness, which I believe to be one of the reasons for the sound and feel this keyboard produces. Getting a layer deeper, your switch choice is between a set of Outemu browns or yellows, of which I've gone for the yellows. They're a 3-pin linear switch with a light coat of factory lube. I wasn't able to find out the exact specs, but they feel like a mid-force linear and do sound and feel notably smooth due to the factory lubing. As mentioned, GamaKay also sent me their Pegasus switches to try out. These are a 3-pin tactile switch with a bump occurring 0.7mm out of the total travel distance of 3.3, which places the bump right near the top of the keystroke. If this keyboard wasn't already office friendly, these Pegasus switches are actually as silent, so not only will you have the best feeling keyboard, probably the quietest too. Being silent, they do have a hint of mushiness though, which is typical of silent switches in my opinion. If you're open to it, I recommend picking up a set of these to try out. I'll have them linked in the description. Overall, the sound profile of the TK75SE is super creamy. One of the most noticeable features is that it's actually much quieter than I thought it would be. Coupled with its retro theme, this keyboard really did strike me as a strong office contender. Although the Outemu yellows are not completely silent, they're quieter than most membrane keyboards typically found in offices, making it potentially an excellent choice for office environments. The TK75SE is compatible with GamaKay's software driver. If you're an avid viewer of the channel, you'll know my thoughts on custom keyboard drivers. In a nutshell, functionally, they'll get the job done, but UX-wise, they leave a lot to be desired. The software allows you to remap your keys across several layers, reconfigure your function key behavior, create macros, adjust your lighting settings, as well as download other user presets to your own keyboard, which to be fair, is quite cool. The keyboard ships with a 4000 mAh battery, which I tend to find to be a respectable capacity where I don't feel like I'm reaching for the charging cable too often. The RGB fans will be glad to know the board has full RGB backlighting with several presets you can cycle between, and I actually found the backlighting to be really bright. In terms of gaming capability, the board features a 1000Hz polling rate or a 1 millisecond response time in wired modes. Paired with N-key rollover makes this keyboard more than capable. Okay, I'm going to perform a teardown to showcase the internal structure of the keyboard. To start off, unfortunately, disassembling the case requires dealing with these annoying clips and removing a screw under each of the case feet. To set the internals free, make sure to unplug this cable as well as remove the final 6 PCB screws. Starting with the plate, this is a clear polycarbonate plate with heavy flex cutting, as well as generously lubed plate mounted stabilizers with the spacebar containing silicone sound dampeners. For foams and films, you're getting a PE foam layer followed by an IXP switch pad and a PET film. The PCB is 5-pin hot swappable with south facing LEDs, no flex cuts on the PCB. Finally, there's another layer of PE foam for the case, followed by a large silicone layer. The gaskets can be seen in the case, and they're thin, firm silicone pads, so that explains the lack of bounce as mentioned earlier. Overall, the board is well equipped internally, but I wouldn't recommend disassembling it unless you have a very specific reason for doing that. The clips are finicky, and the PCB screws ring very easily. Okay, it's time to play the sound test before I leave you with my closing remarks and recommendations. The GamaKay TK75SE offers great value at $69.99 with a retro design, sturdy plastic build, premium metal rotary knob and thick PBT keycaps. Its tri-mode connectivity, auto-detect an OS feature and bright RGB backlighting make it a versatile and user-friendly option. Despite minimal gasket mount bounce, the typing experience is impressive and it's quieter than expected, making it suitable for office use. I recommend the GamaKay TK75SE for office workers seeking a quiet, sturdy keyboard and for the enthusiasts of retro designs. Its budget-friendly price of $69.99 offers excellent value. However, if you frequent disassembling your keyboard or need advanced software customization, you might want to consider other options. Overall, the TK75SE is a strong contender in the 2024 keyboard market. That concludes this review. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, consider dropping a like and subscribing as your support is greatly appreciated.